Welcome back to howtotrade.com. I'm Shane Vernier, and this is the U.S. mid-session brief. You're going to have to apologize right away for the attire. Very, very cold here in Dillon, Montana. Got some interesting news earlier today. Maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe we won't. But definitely an interesting trading day. I'm scoping. I'm going to walk through, very, very simply multiple time frame analysis, and I'm going to show you a trade that I'm looking at right now for later in the day. Probably not going to execute it during this stream, but probably in the next hour and a half, I can tell you exactly what I'm looking at WTI crude oil. We're going to talk rollover, and the reason why we're going to do that is because there's a couple guys in here, a couple guys, gals, that trade WTI crude, and you guys look to me to give you some insights or give you an edge. I'm telling you right now that WTI crude is in a rotational mess, and we can make a fortune off it. So that's what I want to say right off the bat. Team Marina, good to see you, Team Marina. Hey, Shane, stay warm. Ralph, I am freezing. No, I actually, it's funny, the wife, leans over to you last night and says, hey, honey, you're shivering. I was like, I knew I shouldn't have cut body fat in February. Darn it. But I'll tell you this, I'm bundled up. I'm trying to get warm. I got a giant heater right there. It's 18 degrees outside Fahrenheit, which for Dillon, Montana, over the last 4 weeks is probably a hot spell. We've been 20 below. I told you yesterday. I mean, the mice run to the houses. I mean, everything's just trying to survive. And I'm not trying to. We sort of had a psychology session yesterday, and we're gonna have probably another one of those today. If you have anything that you want to ask me, as a trader, as a person, go ahead and do it today, because we're loaded up. I got a lot to cover, but this is an interesting week, and I've really called. I wouldn't say that I've called the dogs off trading, but I've definitely slowed things down. And the reason why I've slowed things down is because we're seeing announcement after announcement out of the White House. Our markets are going absolutely crazy. Gold. Somebody's trading gold out there today, right? Made a stack on gold earlier. Where does gold go from here? It's strange because we're talking about, an interest rate hike, which I believe is coming. No one else, you're not going to see that on CNBC. You're not going to see that anywhere in the world, but I believe it's coming. I think you're going to get an interest rate hike this year, not a cut. There's going to be a move from the White House and the Congress to actually privatize the Federal Reserve. That's going to happen. No one's ever seen it. And, we're going to trade, and we'll show you some levels, and we'll show you all the different strategies. We always do all those different strategies. But I want you guys to understand that what's coming, no one has ever seen. Now, there was one other guy in American history as a U.S. president that said he was going to disband the Federal Reserve. And I'll give you 5 seconds to make a guess who that was. He didn't make it out of Texas. It was Kennedy. Kennedy was going to put the U.S. dollar back on that. He was going to go to a silver standard, not a gold standard. We are in fascinating times, and I look at our markets. I just look out across the day. I look at our markets, and I go, what's going to happen right now? The answer is nothing. If you're a rotational trader, I'm going to show you how to trade rotation today. Right now, we're going to start with WTI crude, but I'm going to show you how to trade a flat market and make money. And always remember this. If you sign off and you don't listen to anything else I say for the next half hour, listen to this. A true artist can make money in any type of market condition. Think of yourself as an artist. You look at something that everybody else looks at this and goes, what the hell is that? What is all this garbage? Take the indicators off the screen. Take it all off. Except volume. Volume's the only one we can ever get rid of, right? Look at that. Now I want you guys to go deep right now and think about, in your life, who the hell knows what that means? And a lot of you are here very, very, very early in your trading career, and you haven't stared at candlesticks. I have to be honest with you. I mean, when I was brought up, just real quick, a little sidebar. See this? Everybody looks at candlesticks now. Never used to. Shit, we were looking at Hake and Aishi. We looked at those. We looked at bars. This is how I was raised. Gray background, black bars. There was no green bars. There was no red bars. We looked at black bars. I went to candlesticks, not necessarily because I believe they have any sort of predictive value, but I like the way it looks. I think that if you're not looking at a candlestick chart at this point, you're probably missing the boat. I like the way it looks. My uncle, my mentor, he would have said, Shane, that's Walt Disney. He said it looks like Disney World. Get that out. Get the black bars with the gray background, and let's talk price. He was a pit trader. We talked a little bit about that yesterday, but does it all work? Do the indicators work? Do the things that are supposed to they're just supposed to tell you which way price goes? Does that stuff work? Every indicator you put on your chart is always reactive. Always understand that. And that's one of the things I probably haven't done a good enough job talking to you guys about over the years about, Shane, you're buying and selling this level. I go, yeah, I am. But I want you really to look at this Great Britain pound trade. Are we winning? We haven't won anything yet. Are we going to win? Yep. The biggest thing that I would say right now is, so Shane, you got all these indicators, you got Fibonacci's and all that jazz. One of the reasons why I lean toward Fibonacci's and fractal geometry is because it works, number one. Number two is because it's based on price action, and it's predictive. It's not reactive. I can sit here, and we put the videos out, and some of our biggest videos, one of our biggest videos ever on how to trade calm YouTube, just went over 100,000 views. It's a 9 EMA strategy. And I'm telling you for a fact that if you trade the 9 EMA strategy during the wrong periods, you're going to lose. But if you incorporate some of the other principles that we talk about every single day in this trading room and on these live streams, you can win. I've been doing it for 10 years, 15 years. I've been in the game 15. I didn't become a profitable trader for 5. A lot of that was because I didn't have any backing. The biggest day I had in the markets, and a lot of you are young traders, and we're going to get to some levels, and I'll give you some trade ideas and all that stuff. But the biggest day I ever had, this is a tough one. I was a young trader. I had just been in. I was about 18 months in, so I was probably 15 months after Uncle Gary was my uncle. Gary Vernier. You can Google it. You can see him and pictures of President Bush. They were there. He talked to me about what the markets were, and he talked to me about, what it was to be a winner and how I wanted to, sort of proceed in this way. And I remember him sitting me down. He said, hey, listen, you got to make a living. I told you yesterday the real estate bubble had popped. It was bad news. It was bad news bears, man. I mean, we had to liquidate everything. I talked about the losses. I talked about the sword we had to fall on. We fell on it. We, being me and my family, we fell on it. Now, he came in. He says, hey, listen, I think you have some talent. I think you have some aptitude. I want to teach you to trade, but if I'm going to teach you to trade, you're all in. I mean, you're all in. I won't waste my time otherwise. And I just said, that's all I've ever wanted to do is trade. You know that. A lot of you are in that boat right now where you're trying to find financial freedom. You're trying to do all these different things, and you want trading to be that outlet for you. I will tell you that this is more of an art form than really anything else. I mean, we can talk about, reading books. We can talk about. I have the degrees. I have a BS. I always call it a BS. I have a bachelor's in science, a BS, and the way they write it. And, oh yeah, hey, you went to science school. That's pretty cool. BS. Yeah, I always called it. You know what BS means. I didn't learn anything at business school. I learned more watching that man trade in 5 days than I did in 4 years of business school. So what I'm trying to say here today is that we can give you all the levels. We can give you anything you want. I mean, I can give you winning trades. Shit, we did it all January. The question is where do you want to go with this? And I'm not trying to recruit anybody that doesn't want to trade. If you don't want to trade, get away from this. Nobody knows what this stuff means. Look at this. I mean, when you talk to your friends and family, I talk to my wife. She laughs at me. She goes, "Oh, you're still chasing those candles around, right?" But I told you yesterday, if I know how the next candle is going to form, our life gets exponentially better, and it has. So you got to trade, you got to lose money, and you got to go through the curve that I went through. But I'm really trying to flatten that curve. That's what this service is about. That's what I had so many private messages after yesterday's stream that like reached out to me, and they were like, "Shane, I mean, what you said yesterday was really important." And I said, "Well, it wasn't. It's just you get into this situation where you just want to sit there and go, okay, sell the Great Britain pound from 126. Well, no kidding. I mean, we've done it. I told you exactly how to execute this trade. It's coming our way. You're going to see this thing trade down into here probably by the end of the week, I would say. Is that a great level? Is it magic? Is it magic that we sat here and called a double top? And it's not. Hey, listen, it's not about, oh, this guy's just a guru. Get away from the gurus. Nobody's going to be able to help you in these markets. Nobody can help you. We talked about that double top last night. I talked about it. I said, listen, if you get stopped out in this trade, you're going to get killed. And what the hell happened? Bam. We were watching that right there. Bam. What do you think happened? Bam, bam, bam. What's price doing right now? It's not that I'm bearish or bullish the market. I couldn't care any less. What it's about right now is which way does it go? And we're starting to win. Unfortunately, we have to put these trade ideas out way ahead of time. So I have to tell you, you better sell right there because you're going to read this thing, a week later and go, oh, I guess the Great Britain pound sell. It's not that I'm belittling anybody that follows a trade idea. I followed them. One of the biggest learning moments in my life was I lost a significant sum of money. I remember I was working construction. And I was making $300 a week. My dad was paying me $300 a week, and I was working 50 hours or whatever. Seriously. I mean, you never showed up late, and your dad's running the job. You show up, and you try to set an example, and that's what I was trying to do. And I remember, I was making $300 a week. I loved football. I loved college football. I played college baseball. I knew all the football players. I understood what it was to be a college athlete. And I couldn't wait to keep competing. And one of the things that I had a real problem with, and honestly, it's why I'm a trader today, is because I couldn't fill, the void that the competition left. I mean, there's the old saying, you guys have seen Any Given Sunday, the old Al Pacino movie, Oliver Stone movie about professional football. And, he said, I don't miss the money, I don't miss the fame, I miss the guys in the huddle. I miss the teammates, I miss the friends, and I miss the competing. and they don't tell you how to turn it off. You just can't turn it off. And so I wound up in the markets because I had to compete every single day, and I still do. I compete every single day. And a lot of you are like that. A lot of you have that thing that says, hey, listen, I don't like the way that all this is going, and I'm going to change it. And you look to the markets as being a way for you to do that. And I agree. It's done it for me. My question to you as a trader is, what do you want? What I want's a lot different from what you want, and Bobby Bob, always a pleasure, Bobby. You've got to figure out what you want to take out of these charts. I mean, when we look at something like this, and you go to yesterday's stream, we broke down this Great Britain pound USD trade. We broke it down. I talked a lot of smack about it because it was blowing up in our face. A lot of confidence, though. A lot of confidence because our level is legit. So when we start talking about, crossover strategies and momentum oscillators and all the jazz, we do that to show you alternate ways to trade. We can't just sit here and say, okay, well, I trade the way Shane trades. You can't trade the way that I trade. Nobody can. Only I can. I'm telling you right now that horizontal support and resistance levels, probably the ticket to the promised land, but you have to have enough confidence in them, and you also can't be stupid. Let's be brutally honest. Let's say you sold the farm right there at 126.10. Price rallied against you. 126.30. Holy cats. So you took a 20 pip bounce. Let's say you're playing for $5,000 or $1,000 a pip. Is that the trade that you make? Can you stay in that trade until it goes in your favor? That's the difference between a winner and a loser, is understanding, okay, I have $10,000 to trade with. Shane loves this level. I want to do it. That's what we're trying to avoid here. I want you to think for yourself. How do you execute? If you over-leverage that position, you got stopped out early and you walked away with a loss, and I'm winning. That's the difference. That's the difference between a novice and a professional. Now, here's the other thing about that, though. You can't just say, okay, well, there's the level. We're just going to hold it indefinitely because it's always going to come back, because that's BS. That's complete crap. Take a look at the natural gas chart. If you're short today, you're destroyed. If you're short today, you're destroyed. Optionsellers.com. Don't know who that is? Look it up. Google it. Go to YouTube. Pull up the optionsellers.com video where that guy's crying. He's crying. He lost hundreds of millions of dollars of his clients' funds. He lost retirements from people that were middle America people, middle Europe people. These folks are working class like me and you that show up every morning and get it on. This guy lost all their money. Watch the video, optionsellers.com. Google it. Watch the YouTube video. This man's worth millions and millions of dollars. He sits there and he breaks down and he cries about it. You want to cry? Be short right there. Be short right there and believe the market's going to come back to you. What are you, high on crack? As soon as it's gone, baby, it's gone. And we have to understand that as traders, that is what this is. Understand when it's gone. When it's gone, it's gone. Now, I'm sitting here, I'm showing you a trade that, yeah, Shane's hoping this one comes back and it wins. No, but seriously, we have a hell of a fight going on here. We got to swing high. We got to swing high. We're compressing right here. We're looking to get the sellers into the market. But take a look at what happened here. There's no fight. They raised the white flags, and they walked out of there. We have some trade ideas coming, and I'm going to break down WTI, and we're going to do all this stuff. But this is important, guys. This feels like this kind of week to me. I mean, it's, the hard winter here in the United States and in the northern United States. It's hard, but this is a time for reflection. And believe me, things are going to get hot, and we're going to do very well. But what I'm saying is this. You cannot be short on a chart like that if you don't take anything else away from these streams. Screw the levels. Screw the strategies. If you sold there and you're still holding, you better be George Soros. You better be, because nobody has the pockets to take that kind of hit. The markets don't always come back to you, and don't get caught in that trap of don't get caught in that. I mean, that destroys lives. Story I was going to tell, and I'm going to tell it real quick, and then we're going to talk Australian dollar, U.S. dollar. Then we're also going to talk about the Kiwi and what's coming our way this evening, the last 15, 20 minutes of the stream. But this is important. I mean, the story that really stuck with me was I always reference back to, who taught me how to trade. It's my Uncle Gary. Taught me how to trade. He said the most money I lost on one trade was $3 million. And I said, well, it wasn't your money. Clearly, it wasn't your money. And he goes, no, it was the firm's money. And he was fired shortly after that. But what happened was, for those of you that are old enough, the United States, we ran troops, we ran iron into Iraq, and we did it in the early 90s. Now, a lot of you, there's some veterans, of the Gulf, the second Gulf around, that actually served. I've talked to you. I know you're out there. This was the first Gulf War, and they bet the ranch that there was going to be some fights. There was going to be some big fights right on the border. If you remember right, Iraq went into Kuwait, and God only knows why it all happened. We've learned a lot from Russia, Ukraine, I can tell you that. So Iraq goes into Kuwait. They commandeer Kuwait. They light up the oil fields and all that crap. Well, they bet the ranch that oil prices were going to spike. And the reason why they bet the ranch was because they thought that there was going to be some fights. The United States was going to take some casualties. We were going to see dead Marines and things right there on the border. I remember I was in 6th grade, and I had a friend of mine. I won't mention his name, but his brother was deployed, and we were sort of on pins and needles going, oh, boy, it's going to go down. And so what happened in the markets was they just bet. They said, okay, price is sort of stagnating. We're betting for just a giant rally here because we think that the United States is going to take some casualties and we're going to see a major meltdown there at the border. And then when the videos started coming in to where all the Iraqi soldiers basically just surrendered because they wanted to live, they wanted to survive, the price of crude oil plunged. He told me the story. Him and my aunt, they were out at a big fancy restaurant in New York City. He was trading. They were big timers. They were Wall Streeters. And he goes, one of my assistants came and tapped me on the shoulder during dinner and said, yeah, we're down about $3 million. And he went, I guess I better get back to the office. And yeah, you better. So they went back and they tried to figure it out, and the price of crude oil absolutely plunged. And the reason why was because there wasn't that thing that everybody thought was going to happen. The smart money thought it was going to happen. It didn't happen. It's an amazing story. It's too bad that gentleman's gone. He could have told it a hell of a lot better than I did. But that's what really brought all of this home for me. So, I get this. The reason why I bring it up is I get this question a lot. It's like, Shane, what the hell are you talking about? You give us a sell level. And I was like, yeah, but you got to get out. Take a stop loss. If it breaks against you, get the hell out. So, I don't know, man. Right there, Wizard Alvin. A man's got to know his limitations. My Wizard's up early or up late down in New Zealand. I don't know which. Always a pleasure, the Wizard. Talk about somebody who's been in the markets for a long time. Wizard Alvin has been. And what you got to do is you got to make sure that you don't end up on the wrong side of these. Don't get short. Don't get short and then get blown up. Well, how would I know that? Well, let's just go ahead and reverse engineer this natural gas chart. We've talked for a long time about where natural gas was going. We understand that the way that the world's working right now, you're probably going to get a big rally as opposed to a big sell-off. We've had this spot at this blue line right up here. That's our gap. And if you don't remember, it's not the Darien gap here down in Panama, but this is our gap. When we opened and we went huge down, bang, bang, February 2023, January, bang, right there. We've had that as a topside target for a long time. And the reason why we've had it there for a long time is because that's probably where price is going to go. Why? It's not because we're magic. I mean, I'm not very good at card tricks, but we never traded that level. We're going to trade it. It's happening right now. Wintertime in the Northern Hemisphere. I think we have an opportunity to see, really robust energy demand. It's been a brutal winter in North America here. It has been. It's been a bad one. The climate changers won't tell you that, but that's exactly what's happened. So as we watch something like a natural gas, and you've got wars, you got Russia, Ukraine, you've got peace deals, you've got LNG. The United States wants to become the biggest LNG, liquefied natural gas exporter in the world. What does all that mean? It means we're in a period of transition, and I would probably bet anybody in this room $1,000 today if I thought you'd pay me. And I don't have many thousands to go around, so I probably could take about $25,000 or $30,000 worth of action, and I'd have to shut it down. But you're gonna trade that. You're gonna trade. As sure as I'm sitting here, you're gonna trade 443. Now, does it happen now? Hell, I don't know. Maybe. Does it happen this month? Maybe. Does it happen next month? Potentially. AI? You don't think AI is driving the natural gas market? Donald Trump and some of the things that they've announced that they're going to do with AI, they're trying to position the United States as being the AI leader. There's only one way to do that. You have to have energy. You have to have energy and superconductors. If you don't have the conductors, if you can't do the actual nuts and bolts business of AI, then natural gas, what does it do? They're leaning on gas from the Gulf Coast region, to get this AI stuff off the ground. And the other thing is nuclear. Nuclear, you're 18 months out. They're breaking ground on the nuclear power plants now. They know the regulations are gone. They're going to do it. What does that mean in natural gas? I love this new feature from TradingView. It means you're going to go right up in here, and then you're going to go right down in there. This isn't going to move very much in the next, 4 years. I would say that's probably your 4-year range. But I'll tell you this right now. We're going to trade the top of it because right now nobody knows what the hell is going to happen in the Ukraine. A lot of negotiations happening right now. We believe that the war is going to be over very soon, and it needs to be. It needs to be. The people of I work with several folks from that region. That's a challenge, boy. That's a heartbreaker. What does that mean in natural gas? One more time for the record. You're going to trade right up in here. So do you want to buy right now? If you have Soros pockets, you can certainly buy right now and be just fine. You don't have Soros pockets, so what you got to do is you got to bring it down. You got to say, okay, what can I do right now? Well, you see what happened today. Something clearly was announced. I didn't see the news feed, but definitely. So I'd watch that swing high. You can see we're already trading that. I think you probably test it relatively soon, and then you'll see a peace agreement. You'll see a peace agreement announced, and then you'll see a big retracement. Natural gas is really hard to trade, guys. Really hard to trade. I am unforgivably behind on the live chat, and I do appreciate you bearing with me today. I'm battling a little bit of the flu. Very, very cold here, and I got it deep in my chest. So if I'm not bringing the heat and the energy I usually bring, you're going to have to forgive me. But, a little bit down today. Let's go through the live chat. Like I said, I'm just a little bit behind the weather, but we're going to show you some trade ideas here in just a second. Team Marina, that temperature is just disrespectful. Yeah. Brian Barbie, good to see you, Brian. Welcome. Always a pleasure. I want to be Shane information. Some of the thoughts that go through my head, Team Marina, is such a waste of time. There's actually a YouTube video out there on how to calm your thoughts. It's a fantastic one. You got to check that out. The samurai used to do it before they go into battle. And samurai, they had battles, but they weren't often because nobody wanted to fight the samurai. If you guys are serious about the markets, be a samurai. Calm your mind. Take what you want. Let's see. There's no crying and trading. There's never has been, Brian Barbie. All right. Son Goku, good question. The markets trend only 30% of the time, but the USD JPY used to trend a lot, 60 to 70%. Well, the first thing I would ask, Son, is how old are you? That's the first thing I would say. It's funny because there was a mentor here that ran this service over at Forex Signals long before I ever got here. And he's a professional trader. And he used to talk about, he goes, well, everybody's just playing against the yen. They're just playing against the yen. And I said, yeah. So that everybody, they're passing these evaluations for the prop firms. They're doing all this stuff. This is what you're talking about, Son. That ain't, I don't know, I sort of talk like a hillbilly a lot, but that ain't real life. That ain't real life. Real life is this. And this is why I'm so big on rotational trading. So big on it. I think that you have an incredible opportunity to attack flat markets that range, markets that have highs. Take a look at this. Bang. Bang. You don't think fortunes were made in there? If you don't think that, you're not very smart. Look at these triple bottoms, these double tops. They traded inside of a phone booth for friggin' 3 or 4 years. Do you understand what that means? It means that everybody at the firm shows up to work and they go, what's the deal today? Well, we're selling here and we're buying there. Any questions? And in all this action, all this stuff that happens, what do you think's going on? They're buying, via penthouses. They're buying, friggin' cars, brand new Bugattis. That is what this means. What this means right here, and quite frankly, why they're terrified of Donald Trump is because this stuff right here is going to happen. Now, I personally, with the dollar yen, clearly we're bullish. Clearly we had an incredible revaluation. We were down here right around the 108 level for seemingly ever, and now we're up here. We debated that these are months. We debated that for 4 months. Do 100 push-ups every day for 4 months. You'll see a hell of a change in your body. You'll see a hell of a change in yourself. What do you think happens to the market when they trade at a certain price point for 4 months? And then all of a sudden we roll higher. There was the big retracement. Now this retracement right here, everybody was on. They said, that's the Bank of Japan saying, well, things are going to change. The actual rate hikes were in here. The market knew it ahead of time. There's money at stake. When there's money at stake, everybody knows that things ahead of time. So when you look at something like this, you go, okay, that's why we don't like change, because that wipes shorts out. And this industry right here is based on sure things. And I'm telling you, as sure as I'm sitting here right now today, fortunes were made in that whipsaw garbage you saw for 3 years. I say lean into the whipsaw garbage, son. I'm looking for trends. Yeah, you want to get rich quick. You want to hit, not you, son, but I mean everybody in here, they want to hit. I mean, just go buy lottery tickets. That stuff doesn't happen. That trend right there is a result of the quantitative tightening that had to come after COVID, a completely an unprecedented event. That right there, you will wait. I can't remember the name of it, but it was in Taleb's book. It wasn't Fooled by Randomness. It was a second book, The Black Swan. Read that book, and he talks about there's a parable there where a gentleman in the Middle East, he sits on the wall every night waiting for the conquering hordes, the barbarians, to come in, and he spends his whole life on that wall and nothing happens. You will sit around your entire life and wait for a break like that. Pardon my language, that shit doesn't happen. It doesn't. What you're more likely to see in every market you trade is this stuff right here. Okay, Shane, you run your mouth a big, okay. Let's talk about how to trade WTI crude oil for the last 45 minutes of the day. Do it right now. Okay, I know I have solid volume. Oh, we got our point of control. We're going to have to save that talk. We start getting into point of control and fair value and all that stuff. We'll be here all day. So there's your daily chart right here, WTI crude. Why did WTI crude spike? Middle East, 100%. There's no reason for it to spike right now. It's hurting people. It's hurting shorts. I want to be short this market. You can't be. But take a look at how we're going to trade this later in the day. There's your daily, okay? There's your daily chart. A couple of things that I would do immediately. I'd say, okay, where the hell is the moving average at? Moving average is 71.77. All right. You'll see what we're going to do here in a minute. Okay, 71.77 is our moving average. Where the hell is our Bollinger midpoint? Bollinger midpoint is where? 72.05. What are we doing? Failed auction. That's not really a failed auction. It was a pretty good washout. You actually washed out beneath last week's low, and then you did we though? Wait a minute now. What's the low? Low 70.16. What's today's low? This is WTI futures. This is the new front month April contract. What's the low? 70.12. 70.16. We took a little bit of a lookie. We took a peek. The bidder stepped in, and boy, this thing's jamming higher now. So what do we do? How do we trade this thing right now? 30-minute chart. Easy. This is easy. What do you think I'm selling in the next hour? Doot, doot. We're selling 72s with your money. I mean, that's a layup. That's a layup trade. And you say, Shane, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I do. Look at right here. Bang. Nice big 30-minute move during the overnight, during the London session. Now we retrace. There's our daily moving average. You don't think that was a very good trade about an hour and a half ago? selling 71.77s. It's our moving average, guys. Trading can be so easy. Just let it be. 72.05. I'm going to show up with fistfuls of money. Matter of fact, I got to get off this live stream. I've run long because I got to go trade that. It's the reality of it. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. That's what life is figuring out something that you really want to do. I love the markets. I've been a market guy since I was a little kid. I'll tell you some other stories about some of the tests I was put through as a kid, and they tried to. It was funny. It was funny because I remember my uncle brought a test back east, and he said, "We give this to all our new traders." And I was like 8. He goes, "Here, take this." And it was how fast you could match numbers. They had a big pool of numbers there, and they had a big pool of numbers there. And you just try to match the numbers as fast as you can. And they put you on a stopwatch. They said, "Hey, how many matches did he get?" And I remember I only got like 3 or 4 matches in 60 seconds. And he was sort of bummed. He says, "Well, he's not a genius." I remember that. I remember actually hearing that. He goes, "Well, he's not a genius." But I will tell you this. If you guys are American football fans, then the 85 Chicago Bears with Mike Singletary as their middle linebacker, he always said, "Hey, listen, I'm not big enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not strong enough or fast enough, but you will never outwork me. If you can take that into your trading, you will be a success. I promise you." I already know what I'm going to do later today. Well, Shane, it's trading 71.83. What are you, long or short right now? Neither. I mean, a secondary buy, we could probably buy a pullback to 71.50 or 71.75s right there. We could probably buy our moving average, daily moving average. But why? I can tell you for a fact that's a winner. That's a liquidity sweep. I love liquidity sweeps. Hey, that's a liquidity sweep. And I go, yeah, but why did the liquidity sweep happen, dummy? 72. We test 72 again. You sell the ranch. Well, how long do you hold it? I don't know. I just want probably 5 or 10 ticks. I'm going to rock probably 4 lots on that trade. I'm going to go ahead and sell 4 lots. So I'll be playing for $40 a tick. I want to make $300 or $400 on that trade. Make a nice Tuesday. A Tuesday where really, not much else has happened. So we've had an interesting 2 streams, man. There's been a lot going on. Didn't really make any money. Haven't really been losing money, but haven't made any real money yet in February. And by real money, we're talking 5s and 10s, thousands. Haven't really made it yet. I think we have an opportunity maybe later today. I'm going to pile the leverage on that sell. I think we have a chance to get that in the next hour. But other than that, I mean, you got to just sort of, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's time to chill out. This isn't the time to force it. The title of this stream was, Australian dollar and all that jazz, New Zealand dollar. It's probably why Wizard tuned in. He wants to, honestly, Wizard, I think that what you're going to see here is you're probably going to see a rate cut. That seems to be what everybody else is doing. We do have a bit of a trade idea on right over here in the Kiwi. We put this one on yesterday, I believe. And right there, I mean, you'd love to see a nice big bounce. But if you get a rate cut, you're probably not going to get that. So we're looking at verbiage out of the Kiwi, out of the RBNZ, and you have an opportunity maybe up there to sell 58.50s. I like that one a lot. So go ahead and reference the trade idea that we put out yesterday. I believe it was facing this pair. As far as the rest of it goes, the RBA, I mean, we can talk RBA all we want. The bottom line is to cut interest rates. You can see the big rally in this Aussie right here. Doesn't really make any sense this month. It really doesn't. And that's why if we get an opportunity to really trade one of our key levels, one of our sells right up there about 64-ish, that's money in the bank. I'm not supposed to say that, but it is. We'll see what happens. As far as the rest of it goes, though, I don't feel real great about saying, I mean, hey, listen, I can sit here right now, and if you Google natural gas on YouTube, everybody in the world's saying buy the sucker. You don't want to buy that. You don't want to buy that. I'll tell you when to sell it. You sell it right up around 441, somewhere in there, 416. You don't buy it now, though. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sort of kick off. I know this has sort of been an interesting week, but there's a lot going on, and this really wasn't the time to sit here and say, oh, you got to trade this. If you ever took 2 days off in your life, the last 2 have probably been pretty good. Let me see. Sown, I am 21. Team Marina, I need that vid. It's good stuff. You guys, if you're watching on YouTube, just or Twitch or wherever else you're seeing us, pop in, send me a private message. I always love to hear from you. More than happy to get back to you. As far as what we're doing the rest of the week, FOMC minutes is tomorrow. Everybody's waiting. Everybody's waiting. They want to know what Jay Powell's doing. I'm watching WTI crude the rest of the day, selling 72s. No question about it. Probably looking for 5 to 8 to 10 ticks. Well, how much is it, Shane? Personally, me, that's probably going to be a 5-lot trade, and I'll look for 5 ticks. If I can grab a quick $250 with no pain, I'll take it. Remember, just hundreds turn into thousands, and thousands turn into a life. That was the biggest thing I was ever taught. I talked to you about how I was taught about the candles forming, and I was also taught this: if you make pennies, you can make dollars. And if you can make dollars, you can rule the world. Well, shit, Trump did it. Who knows? All right, guys. Let's see. I got a great question right there. Which pairs would be great to trade this week? None of them. If you're gonna trade a pair this week, probably trade the Australian dollar and also trade the Kiwi. Just stay out. The central banks are gonna just rock everything, so stay out of that. Wait for the bet. Like if I was trading tomorrow, Shane, what pair do you want to trade tomorrow? I'm looking at the Kiwi immediately, and I will when I get into the office in the morning. I'll be looking at the Kiwi first thing. And I want to know exactly what happened after that interest rate decision. And remember, when you see those big market movers and those shifters, those movers and shakers, it doesn't necessarily mean the price is going to move one way or the other. Typically, it's choppier than hell. So you've got to understand that. And as soon as you understand that, the whole damn thing opens up to you. I mean, I'm not kidding you. Trading can get very, very easy. And what happens is to people, God, we talk a lot about stop losses and managing risk and losing. We talk a lot about losing trading. Let's see. Thank you, Shane. Too hot to sleep. Shame you cannot share the heat. Boy, I would take the heat. Wizard, I would take the heat. I would like a good deep sweat, maybe go down to the beach. I think, let's see. I had a buddy that went down to New Zealand not too long ago. He killed a stag. He had really a fantastic, great big red stag on his wall. But they also, you guys go boar hunting. There's wild boars there. Typically, every island in the world has wild boars, but you go down there, and I remember watching an old Anthony Bourdain where they went out and they killed the boar and they cooked it. And God, the wife wants to go so many places. Maybe we'll make a little bit of money this afternoon and we can go some of them. But my point is this: if you can make dollars, or excuse me, if you can make pennies, you can make dollars, and if you can make dollars, you can rule the world. I don't rule the world, but it feels good making dollars, and a lot of you can do it, and it has nothing to do with this it has nothing to do with the lines in the sand. It has nothing to do with channels or RSI or 5813. There's no holy grail. The bottom line is if you're going to succeed in the market, it has to be you. You have to be able to get it on, and you have to be able to manage everything. And one of the biggest challenges I ever had was being aggressive enough. That sounds weird, doesn't it? Be more aggressive. That's what I told you yesterday. When you're winning, bet more. When you're losing, bet less. All right, I'm out. You guys have a fantastic trading day. We ran way long today, but that's okay. It's been an interesting early week. We're going to be back in the saddle tomorrow. I'll be bringing you trading the FOMC minutes. We'll preview the FOMC minutes. We'll break them down. We'll see exactly if anything's changed from the Fed's point of view. Also, check out our YouTube channel. Last video we put out probably should have got more views. Didn't have many views. You guys check it out. It was about the 9 EMA and Fibonacci retracements. If there's one thing in this world I'm pretty good at, it's Fibonacci's. All right. You have a fantastic trading day. Have just a good day in general. Live it well. Trade it well. We'll talk soon. See you.